I was asked the question this morning by my crack film crew that why are there so many frogs in the house, this house, and our Manila estate had hundreds of frogs and little statues, little puffy dolls, whatever. I almost always wear a frog tie here for the seminar. Today I found my frog cufflinks. It's Allie had made for me at Tiffany's. And I've got frog diamond stick pins. I got all anyway. And the reason I do it, and I alluded to it earlier, yesterday I believe, is that QLA is a numbers game. And you've got to kiss a lot of frogs, meaning you have to have a lot of appointments. You're going to have, in the beginning, rejection because you don't know what you're doing, and then you'll get better at it. And when you've been successful like I have for 30 plus years, and you have a lot of money, some of you lazy fucks, cunts, wouldn't get out of bed. But I always know I have to kiss frogs. One of the reasons, like I met you before the seminar. I met you. Is that I want to, not because I'm looking for opportunities, because the opportunities are slim and none coming from you guys with the greatest respect, but because I want to know, I may learn something. And I meet for deals that I'm not necessarily interested in, but I meet the people and I tell them straight up. In fact, when I met with you guys, I'm not interested in your business model. I just want to talk to you about you and your experiences. And that's part of the Kissing Frogs process. I'm exposing myself to as many different types of people, as many different ideas as humanly possible. Now, if I do that after 40 plus years of in my career, when I measure and I look at your weekly reports and I see how little you do, bless you, how little you do, I'm speaking, I said in one of the slides, I never ask you to do anything that I haven't done and am not currently still doing. And and it's really an important concept. I mean, the guys on this wall that are still alive and the guys that are on that wall still have a lot of appointments. They're still listening to a lot of ideas. Walt Disney, while he was still alive, and although he's been dead many, many years, was listening to new concepts for theme parks, etc., etc. And human nature is that when you have some little bit of success, and of course, what I consider a little bit of success, you may consider a lot of success, but when you have any success, you have a tendency to cut back. You do that for a couple of reasons. Number one, you're so overwhelmed because you got some success and you haven't had any before to speak of, and especially the Brits, they loved to pat themselves on the back and pop champagne bottles for any fucking reason. Normally, no good reason, but any reason whatsoever. And but they're not the only ones. I mean, it's a natural tendency because you want to blow smoke up your own backside. And some people will compliment you because they didn't think Monty was going to do it, and so God, that's great. And so they pat him on the back. Let's go to lunch. Let's go have a drink. Let's go clubbing, etc. So it's difficult to keep pressing, even after you're successful. And I've talked to you about the 10 years that I stayed up here. Majority of the time, there were weeks I never went out of the castle. There were months I never left the compound because I was focused on one thing, and that was growing my business. And at the same time, oil was going from $41 a barrel down to $8 a barrel. So everything that I was touching was turning to shit and before the ink dried. And I was having to come up with reasons, rationale, why the financial institutions should still back me, which I got very, very creative, especially towards the end from about $16, $18 a barrel down to $8 a barrel. I got real creative. And some people say I came up with some of the best storylines from $10 a barrel to $8 a barrel. And when it touched $6 a barrel intraday, for a couple of days, I mean, I was, you would have thought that I was, of course, Steven Spielberg wasn't doing movies then. But I mean, you would have thought I was the most famous movie director that ever was, because I was coming up with such great storylines. Not lies, but storylines. When this happens and this happens, I was going to go back here, and anyway, and they continue to back me, and so I'm very fortunate. And my biggest backer in those days was the Kuwaiti government. I was a fair-haired boy for a number of years with them, and but getting back to kissing frogs, I'll be able to tell by looking at the first weekly, maybe not the first weekly report, because some of you, and I say this in an embarrassing way, will have to get your feet on the ground when you get back. Notwithstanding, we're giving you all the tools. It'll take you some time to get your feet on the ground and to not get comfortable, because you're not going to get comfortable with this shit for a long time. But where you've convinced yourself that you have to do this. And then once you've convinced yourself that you have to do it, about that time, the first or second weekly report will have already been done, completed and issued to me, and I will say that you haven't done shit. So you've spent 5, 10, 12 days convincing yourself that you did something, and then you'll get a report back from me, unlike, oh, that's really great, James. And James, are you a cunt? What's wrong with you? What have you been doing since you got back? Because that's the real world. This whole system is based on failure is not an option. It's not an option. And if you make it an option, I guarantee you, it'll become a self-fulfilling prophecy. There's a slide that is coming up about I think it was the Seoul Olympics, 88 Olympics. A girl fell down in the 110 hurdles. Two girls fell down. A girl fell down 110 hurdles, and this is all in microseconds. This is going through my mind. Oh, fuck, I'm 14 years down the toilet. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Yada, yada. Already felt sorry for herself, just like you guys. Got up, won a bronze medal, though, still. What she didn't know is the first place winner also fell down. But she didn't go through all those permutations. Oh, fuck, 16 years of my life, feeling sorry for myself. She was, I guess, and still won the gold medal. Well, most people in life won't even do as good as the bronze medal winner. They'll be there. You know, you see a lot of people that fall down, don't get up. They just stay down. Because they see that their career is over. Their career is over. It doesn't have to be over. Plus the fact there's a lot of people that never won a medal in the Olympics, i.e., Jim Ryan, etc., that go on to break world records and do fabulous things. So kissing frogs and exposing yourself to opportunities is crucial. It's crucial. And the weekly reports give you a benchmark. So you can judge yourself. And as I told you, I think yesterday, you'll have to score. This week, what did I do? Am I 10%, 20%, 40%? Most of you will score in the single digits, 1, 8, 9, single digits in the beginning, because when you base it upon the enormity of the shit you're supposed to do as compared to the stuff you actually get accomplished, it'll be overwhelming. It'll be what I call emotional flooding. But it's a building process. And contrary to the other systems where they say, Monty, that's really great, blah, 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 blah. I'm the Vince Lombardi method. You know, hit him in the head and kick him in the balls. Woody Hayes method. You know, these are great American football coaches. And Marcus, one of my stars, who was the Austrian world-class skier, he said I remind him of the head ski coach of Austria, arguably the best ski team And he said no matter what we did, it wasn't good enough. No matter what they did, it wasn't good enough. And until you do your first acquisition, nothing you'll do will be good enough. Nothing. I don't give a fuck if you get Ellison to be your chairman, and you get your board members of Spielberg, Donald Trump, and you resurrect Andrew Carnegie from the fucking dead. I mean, it won't be good enough. Because until you make a goddamn acquisition, it's all mental masturbation. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. And you will be used to your parents saying, oh, that's really good. You did a good job, Jason. That's fine. Well, you're here because your parents told you that shit. Because it really wasn't good. It really wasn't good. And as Jose said, now that, we're kindred spirits here, two turds from the same pot. If we had stayed in that neighborhood that we came from, for sure I wouldn't be standing up here, and almost for sure he wouldn't be sitting in the back row attending this seminar. And I think you're not the first person from East LA though to come here. We've had a few others. We've had an actress and a couple others. We've had, from Watts, from a lot of the places that you wouldn't think, or would be, it's deemed to be harder to survive and deemed to be harder to be successful. We've had some, people that had some pretty rough backgrounds. In fact, in this group, we've got a couple of, that's just a couple. We have a few interesting backgrounds and personalities, and I'm sure, well, maybe not. Some of you are sharing with each other like last night on Good Friday. The more I think about having the seminar over Easter, the more I like it. And I've got Sally working hard to change our plans over Christmas so we can have a seminar on, especially in Britain, Christmas Eve, Christmas, Boxing Day. Fuck, it can't get any better than that. And we're going to extend it a day to a 9-day seminar so we can get New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. I mean, it can't get any fucking better than that. And for all you cunts watching on the YouTube, just mark in your diary, I am going to announce another seminar, and it's going to be over the holiday season at the end of this year. And we've got no other seminars picked, but that one I'm inclined to do. And I would surmise that, or I would guess that it'll still be fully booked. But the crowd that we're going to get over Christmas holidays, I'm just trying to imagine what they're going to be like. Because the husbands that are coming, their wives had beaten them. Okay? The wives that are coming, the husband may not care. Most of the guys I know will fuck if we never had Christmas. Next. And the moms, and the kids, and what about the presents? Now, sometimes we had Christmas late for me. We had Christmas in January because I wasn't there over Christmas. Because more deals get closed the last week of December. Because why? There is no next. Just like 75% of all loans made by financial institutions are normally made the last 90 days of the fiscal year. And most financial institutions' fiscal year are calendar years. Okay, YouTubers, we'll see you later.